Hello there guys, my name is Quaz, I am from Raz and Quaz, and welcome to part 2 of the best starter Pokemon. Today we are going to be looking at the second generation starters, which are Typhlosion, Meganium and Feraligatr. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the delay between parts. It's just at first I had some computer issues and then I had exams at school, but all of that's over now. So let's move right on to the first Pokemon. We are going to be looking at Typhlosion. Now, Typhlosion is the fire-type starter of this generation and is the fully evolved form of Cyndaquil. Now, on screen you will be able to see a graph showing all of his stats. As you can see, he has pretty decent all-round stats, most of them being around the 80 mark, but the standout stats are quite clearly special attack and speed. Now, Typhlosion's high special attack and speed stats allow him to land heavy hits on opponents, while also being able to outspeed many of them. His average defense and HP also allow him to take a hit every now and then, although a very powerful water type move would be able to destroy him. Now, Typhlosion has a base stat total of 534, which is respectable, and although it's not the highest, it's still pretty decent. Typhlosion possesses the ability Blaze, which I covered in the previous episode. This basically boosts his attack when he has a third or less HP. Now, Typhlosion's secret ability is Flash Fire, and this is much more interesting. If Typhlosion is hit by a fire-type move, his attack is boosted. This can be very useful in the competitive scene, and can be a very tactical plan if used properly, as it not only negates the opponent's damage, but also gives Typhlosion a boost in attack. Now we are going to look at Typhlosion's resistances and weaknesses. Typhlosion has a total of 3 weaknesses, all of which do times 2 damage. These are Water, Ground and Rock. On the contrary, Typhlosion is resistant to 5 types, these being Fire, Grass, Ice, Bug and Steel, and Typhlosion is 2 times resistant to all of these types. This wide range of resistances means that Typhlosion can be used well against any sort of Pokemon, although he does have 3 weaknesses, which could prove his downfall. Now we're going to look at Typhlosion's uses in a competitive battle. Typhlosion currently occupies the RU tier, and as a result there are many other Fire-type Pokemon, such as Moltres or Entei, that he has to compete with. To get around this fact, Typhlosion has to use a more unique set to provide a useful part of the team. As we have previously seen, Typhlosion has a really high special attack and speed, and as a result of this, many movesets have him choiced, either with choice scarfs or choice specs. A choice spec set could use moves such as Eruption, Fire Blast, Focus Blast and Hidden Power to provide heavy damage to an enemy. Due to his incredibly high special attack, this makes him one of the most dangerous special attackers in the tier. Another set that Typhlosion could use is a support set, in which he supports Sunny Day teams. This set sees Typhlosion using the move Sunny Day and also having a moveset of Fire Blast, Solar Beam and Hidden Power. These both Fire Blast and Solar Beam are boosted by Sunny Day, so can provide an interesting set, and are also useful for countering other Pokemon. One downside with Tyranitar is his weakness to entry hazards, specifically Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks provide massive damage to him every time he switches in, and this therefore lowers the effectiveness of Eruption. You should be careful of this when designing a team with him in, and make sure you have a spinner to help support him. In conclusion, Tyranitar can deal massive damage very quickly, but can't stay alive for too long. His incredibly high special attack, coupled with a choice specs, could make him one of the most dangerous Pokemon in the tier, and is definitely a viable option. Now we will move on to Meganium, the grass-type starter and fully evolved form of Chikorita. Meganium again has pretty decent all-round stats, with a base stat total of 525, the same as Typhlosion. Now, Meganium's standout stats are its special defense and defense stats, which shows us that it can be useful playing as a wall. Similarly to Typhlosion, Meganium has the ability Overgrow, which is the grass-type version of Blaze. However, Meganium's secret ability is more interesting. Meganium's secret ability is Leaf Guard, and while the weather is sunny, Meganium cannot be inflicted with major static conditions. This means that Meganium cannot be toxic poisoned, burned, or put to sleep, or paralyzed for that. This is a very useful ability. It can be very effective, especially with Meganium playing as a wall, as stall teams will be unable to do as much damage with toxic poison. Meganium has more weaknesses and less resistances than Typhlosion. Meganium is weak to 5 different types of moves, those being Fire, Poison, Flying, Bug and Ice, while it's only resistant to 4 types, those being Water, Electric, Grass and Ground. This worse type coverage than Typhlosion can be a disadvantage, although due to the higher defensive stats, it may not be as big as an issue. Now we will look at Meganium's use in a competitive team. Meganium is in the NU tier, which is a tier higher than Typhlosion, which suggests that it is a better Pokemon overall. Now, a main role for Meganium is a support Pokemon. Meganium can carry moves such as Aromatherapy, which can help heal its allies. Moves such as Leech Seed and Synthesis can also help in regaining health, while Toxic could also be used to wear down opponents. Giga Drain is also a useful attacking move to again help Meganium regain health, while also dealing damage to opponents. Meganium can also use a dual screen setup. This is a viable setup as it will raise the defense and special defense of your whole team, and due to Meganium's already high defensive stats, it can help it be an even better wall against your opponents. In conclusion, Meganium is a useful defensive wall in the NU tier. Its style is a contrast to the style used by Typhlosion, but both are viable methods. Meganium can easily take a hit, and due to its array of HP recovery moves, it can stay on the battlefield for a long time and wear down the opposition. Now, let's move on to the final Pokemon, Feraligatr. Feraligatr is the final Pokemon we will be looking at today, and is the water starter of this generation, and the fully evolved form of Totodile. Now, while we look at Feraligatr's stats, we can clearly see that he has a very high attack stat, while its defensive stat is also quite high. This could create an interesting setup, as Feraligatr could be used as a defensive wall or a physical attacker. Feraligatr, like both Meganium and Typhlosion, has the ability Torrent, and this is the water variant of the ability, which boosts their attack when the HP reaches under a third. However, Feraligatr also has a secret ability, this being Sheer Force. Now, this removes the secondary effect of an attack in order to boost Feraligatr's actual damage. This can be very useful in a physical set, as moves like Waterfall, Ice Punch or Crunch will gain a boost attack, but they will lose the small chance of causing flinch or freeze. Popular movesets for Feraligatr are a Swords Dance set or a Dragon Dance set. Due to Feraligatr's very high attack, Swords Dance and Dragon Dance both further increase his attack, while Dragon Dance also boosts his speed. This allows him to be a very big threat on the battlefield. Moves such as Aqua Jet, Waterfall and Crunch can provide great physical damage in either set. The options of Ice Punch and Earthquake are also very viable, as these both provide massive damage. Feraligatr's high defense could also allow it to use a substitute set. This will allow him to last longer on the battlefield. However, due to his lack of recovery moves, any damage taken he will be unable to recover, so it's best to just get the damage off while you can. So in conclusion, Feraligatr is a very good physical attacker. However, he doesn't last very long on the battlefield due to his lack of recovery moves. He can be a very vital part of any team and can even be used as high up as the OU tier. I believe that out of the 3 starter Pokemon, Feraligatr is the best to choose, due to his very high attack, while he is also able to take a hit due to his high defense. Feraligatr is even viable in the OU tier, and this just proves how effective he can be. In second place, I'm going to have to go with Typhlosion. Typhlosion also has a very high special attack and can land large hits. Meganium is not overly useful, as there are many other options to use as a wall. While Meganium has a wide array of HP recovery moves, it's just not as effective as other walls such as Venusaur. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave your opinions in the comments below and any suggestions on how to improve the video. I promise you part 3 will not take as long to make, as I have a very long summer holiday ahead of me, so expect it quite soon. Thank you all for watching, I look forward to hearing your opinions, and that is all for now. Bye.